just like an investment strategy, you don't have an investment advisor saying, here's my one strategy, everybody use it, you're going to be rich. You have investment advisors saying, come to me, I'll look at you and your goals and your situation and tailor a plan that's fit for you.
What's the number one secret, Matt, when it comes to making sure that debt is your friend and maybe not your enemy?
Right. I mean, I think people have to do it in a responsible way. And so, a lot of folks will get into real estate investing, which is kind of, my lane, and they'll want to post one comment on one piece of content on social media. Should I buy in this market? And like, that's the extent of their research, right? Versus, actually doing the work and figuring out, what a good investment looks like, not just in general, but for them and their goals, and then tailoring the debt to match that. And a couple examples I'll use for people is, somebody who's trying to build long-term wealth and doesn't need cash flow. They've got a steady job. They plan to work for the next 10, 15, 20 years. That's a different type of investor and a different type of strategy than somebody who says, I'm trying to retire 4 years from now. I want to build, a rental portfolio that spits off at least $4,500 a month so I can have my bills paid and not have to worry about working. Those are two different, debt structures, two different, types of investments. And so everybody has to look at it differently. And that's why, it's not a one size fits all. And just like an investment strategy, you don't have an investment advisor saying, here's my one strategy, everybody use it, you're going to be rich. You have investment advisors saying, come to me, I'll look at you and your goals and your situation and tailor a plan that's fit for you. The same thing happens on the debt side. Somebody comes to me and, a lot of times we're trying to structure a loan for this purchase of a rental property, but to really do it right, I want to know what your future plans are. Is your primary in this investment the end of the road, or do you plan on adding 2 more? Do you plan on planning 10 more? What are your, long-term and short-term goals? How do we, start walking that path towards those? And, anybody who's seen any kind of thing on like the power of leveraging real estate understands. I mean, let's take a simple example. You bought a house in 2018 for $400,000. If you put 5% down and moved into this house, you were in it for $20,000. So you have a $20,000 investment. Most any place in the U.S., appreciated 30% over those last 3 years. And so you take the $400,000 house that's now worth $520,000. That's $120,000 in net worth gain for a $20,000 investment. It doesn't take a rocket science to say, use 6x your investment. And this isn't Dogecoin or some, random cryptocurrency. This is real estate. You can see it, feel it, touch it, it's real. And, that's the type of thing that debt can help you accomplish. You don't have to buy the $400,000 asset with cash. You don't have to have $400,000 and say, oh, it went up 30%. Yay. It went up 600% versus your $20,000 initial investment. You do the same thing with rental properties.
Yeah, it's powerful, right? And it's, one thing we always wish we would have done is bought more real estate during the crash, right? And it's having that liquidity and that hopefully that financeability, right, with a good credit score, and then having that experience and have done the work, doing the work, understand the local markets, understand the opportunities, and then executing on those plans. And so I like the way you put long-term worth versus, do I need immediate cash flow, right? And versus retiring 4 to 5 years. So it's identifying what season of the wealth plan that we're in, and then tailoring the debt to that business plan and to that deal and to that part of your life. Is that a fair summary so far?
Yeah, for sure.
Excellent. So now I want to talk about maybe secret number 2, right? Once someone sits down with you and you're crunching those numbers, you're encouraging them to do the work, you're empowering them with the education. What would be step number 2 to making sure that you're building wealth using debt? By the way, you can learn more about Matt, and it's Gouge, I'm going to say it right, at mtmg.com. If you want to get with him right now, it's mtmg.com.
Correct. Yeah, and that's actually a new domain. We wanted to save everyone the trouble of having to type out mattthemortgageguy.com. You can still go there and find us, but now it's a lot easier, mtmg.com. I did that for the people. I spent the money that you got to spend to get a 4-digit domain, but it'll all be worth it if I save the next million people 22 seconds each. So
Love that.
I might have lost my train of thought there. The next step is
the next step. Someone sit down with you, right, and they say, "Hey, look, I've identified this property. This is my goals. Here I'm at. What's the next step to making sure that you're tailoring the debt and helping them tailor their debt to the right fit?"
Right. On the stuff that I deal in and day out, which is 1 to 4 unit, residential real estate, you're going to have different options, 20% down, 25% down. I mentioned 5% down earlier, because if it's a primary that your home that you're living in, you're going to be able to put less down. But if you're buying it as an investment, you usually got to put 20 or 25% down. And that's, where we start to ask the questions, is this the only one you're buying? Is there more in the future? Because you'll get better terms putting 25% down. But if you're trying to preserve capital and deploy it on the next investment, you might only put 20 so that you can save that extra 5% and get you that much closer to the next investment property. So it's those types of questions that are, steps 3, 4, and 5. And what you're looking to do on those steps is going to help me determine a plan for step 2. Once we've determined that plan, then it's, are we paying points? Are we not paying points? Are you going to hold on to this mortgage for the long term? Some people are getting debt and they know that they're going to flip a house or sell a house. And in that case, we're structuring the loan where we want a littlest cost possible baked into the loan because you're selling, versus somebody who says, I'm a buy and hold investor. I'm going to hold this thing forever. I'm going to pass it down to my kids. Then you can look at, maybe buying the rate down by a quarter makes sense because you're going to save $52 a month for the next 30 years.
Got it. So I think what I'm gleaning from here, and if you don't have an expert like Matt who's helping you make wise decisions with your debt, with refinance, with purchase, anywhere from 1 to 4 units, right? You've got to build your dream team, and that includes a financial advisor, commercial real estate broker, a rock star realtor, right? For us, it's partnering and finding strategic alliances with commercial real estate syndications. Of course, the tax team, we want to be a part of that, helping you to defer capital gains tax. All of those things together, I liken us, Matt, to these guys with Roman legions, right? They have the shields, right? And each of us have our shield and our specialty and the little carve out with our spear, right? And the client or even myself, I want to build around me the dream team or the executive team to help me make great decisions, because when we stay in our lane and our focus and our expertise and our passion, we can do that. We can have the highest amount of impact versus not having that.